Hello, welcome to my channel. I had a birthday recently, a big milestone, so as a gift my brother printed out a bunch of figures for me. These are all from a classic early 90s computer game called Day of the Tentacle. This was created by LucasArts and in my opinion is probably the best game ever made. After all 3D print they're going to require a little bit of cleanup, as there are parts which either haven't printed properly or broken off and been repaired. So it's time to break out the tools and get to work. You've seen it all before, there can be a lot of sanding, filing and snipping. This is going to take me several hours or even days to complete, and naturally you don't want to see that process all in real time, because I then have to do a lot of filling and even more sanding. So I'm going to basically work on these in the background and then concentrate my efforts on figuring out some way of displaying them. I don't want to end up with a giant base, but there are 7 figures altogether. A full diorama will require a lot of space and a lot of props to be made, whereas a themed display stand will be much quicker and smaller, and will only require a few additional items to be made. So I've cut out a piece of PVC board and start sketching. It doesn't look that busy at the moment, I want to keep it quite simple. I'm going to make a few items referencing moments in the game, plus each character will have its specific place. The tentacle will be on a raised platform at the back, so you can see above our heroes. Since I don't have a 3D printer, I'll be making all these parts from scratch. So as you can see, I've already made the platform and the grate, and I've sketched out the rotor for the time machine. And once it's cut out, it'll wedge into place. Next, I make a few other items which pop up in the game, starting with this oversized lever. I'm just dry fitting it for now, but we'll glue it all together soon. Some of the other items I made were a golden quill, some pasta, some fake bath, a coin stuck in some chewing gum, and a paintbrush. All these items consist of fairly basic shapes, so don't take too long to build. I also made some floor panelling. These are all slightly different sizes to help with the cartoony look. And once again, after a dry fit, I glue them all down. And then I cover the whole thing with grey primer. Using a black brown paint and a thin brush, I fill in all the gaps. And this will make each of the tiles pop. And for the edge, it always looks neat with the black trim. The flooring looking a little bit one-dimensional, so using the big brush I dab on some light grey, and this basically weathers the area to make it look like it's been used. Then I paint the grey silver. In the game this is essential for catching the wind-up teeth, and if you've not played the game you should, it's nuts. Continuing with the weathering, I spatter on some ground wash, and this leaves me with some random dirt marks. The intensity can be dialed back by dabbing it with the tissue. Next, I painted all the accessories. Bonus points for each item you recognise from the game. I will add some more later on, but for now, here's how they're looking. I'm going to get all these glued into place before I drop them on the floor and lose them forever. Now we just need some people and some tentacles. You need a white base coat if you're going to be using yellow, otherwise it will come out dull and will require several coats. Using the game as reference, I went ahead and finished painting the tentacles. These guys are the focus of the game, the green one's the good one, and the purple one's the bad one. And with those being done, I glue them into place. With the purple one being slightly shorter, I made sure it was put on the highest step. Next, I went to work on the Chrono John, which is the time machine. There's actually 3 of these in the game, but I only have space for one. I matched the colours as close as I could from the screenshot, and because this top square is a window, I added some gloss to it. And then, you guessed it, I also glued that into place. I also decided to make an extra couple of items. Those were the chattering teeth and the left-handed mallet. So glue them down, leaving enough space for the figures to go in between. Let's have a quick look to see how it's all coming together. Right, let's get cracking with painting the people. Dr. Fred is fairly straightforward to paint. He's got pale flesh and is wearing a white lab coat. That needs multiple passes to create even coverage. Then I add a little bit of gloss to his glasses and his coffee pot. This is to give the glass a little bit of natural shine. Since his coffee cup is hollow, I decided to add a few drops of UV resin. Using the tip of a paper clip, I mix in a little bit of brown colour. And once it's thoroughly mixed, I use my UV torch to cure it. This step isn't essential, but it does add a nice little touch. and now he can be placed at the back of the board next to the switch for the Chronojon. For our three heroes, we're going to start with Hoagie, who's the chilled out rocker. He has an image on his shirt which he's painted on freehand. It's of a skull with flames shooting out either side. Now I'm not the best painter in the world, so I'll just take my time and get it done slowly but surely. He's going to live on the right side of the board or the front. By turning him slightly to one side, we can still see what's behind him. Next up is Bernard, or Bernard as it's pronounced in the game. He's painted in fairly dull colours, greys, whites and black. He's also holding a crowbar behind his back which is painted gunmetal. Just like with Dr. Fred, he too needs a little bit of gloss on his glasses. Naturally, he can be placed front and centre. He also featured in the previous game, Maniac Mansion. Last but not least, we come to Laverne, who's a little bit nuts. She's wearing a tentacle disguise in the colours of the American flag, and surprisingly this works. There's no marking where the stripes go, so I'm going to have to freehand them. You may have noticed that she's holding a mouse in her right hand. Laverne is the only character whose eyes you can see, and I glossed them over. And there's only one place left for her to go, that's in front of the Chronojon. She's also tilted to one side, so I can see past her a little bit. And that's it. My Day the Tentacle display completed. This was a little bit of a pain of a project to complete, because a lot of the characters are very thin parts, so when I apply the slightest bit of pressure, snap, and you can't stand and fill layer lines without pressure. So I strengthened all the joint with super glue, and then compensated where I could with thicker paint. So when all's said and done, I'm pretty pleased with the finished result, especially with all the tiny handmade items. So if you played this game back in the day, can you tell me what each and every item is? And don't forget, some of the items were used more than once. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.